Hello guys and welcome to another video. My name's Mark, I'm an entrepreneur and property investor, and in today's video we're talking about the 5 reasons I think that everybody should invest. Now on this channel we quite often talk about what we should invest in. We talk about how to calculate ROIs, we talk about the markets and all the things to do with investing. But the reasons behind it I don't think I've really covered before. So in today's video I really wanted to focus on the reasons that I invest and see if you guys can draw any similes from any of that, and maybe this inspires some more people to get involved in investing. Now if you haven't already, give this video a big like, it really does help me out with the algorithm, and if you haven't already subscribed, consider subscribing. We have our subscriber dividend portfolio, £9,500 in there. I'm putting another 2 grand in this month, and we pay out the dividends every single month. So you and I can take part in that journey together. There's gonna be at least £20 this month, but very shortly I can see that getting into hundreds of pounds a month, and hopefully in the not too distant future, the thousands of pounds a month. So guys, let's get into the reasons I think everybody should invest. And my very first one is something that's very pertinent to me, and I haven't managed to unlock any of it really, and that's time freedom. I've always found that as I've built more wealth, as I've got more involved in businesses, as I've grown bigger, I've had less time freedom. Although I would also argue that I have more time freedom, because ultimately at any point I can decide I don't want to do anything anymore and I'll be absolutely fine for the rest of my life. It's not how I'm built, and I think most people who become investors, it's not how they're built. I've recently spent a lot of time with a chap. He's bringing in a high 6 figures of profit every single year. He doesn't need to work, but I know he's absolutely addicted the same way I am. There's no way he's going to stop doing what he does. So time freedom, I think it's a bit of a myth, but at the same time, I think it's something that we achieve fairly early on. So if you consider in the UK, the average salary, about 2 to 2.5 grand a month, take home, somewhere between those numbers. It doesn't take much in terms of investing. We're probably talking 3-4 properties, couple of £100 grand in index funds. I know these are big numbers, but it's not in the big scheme of things, to gain what I would consider financial independence at a basic level and time freedom. At that point, you really will work out whether you're the sort of person who wants to push on and become wealthy, you know, my point number 3, or whether you're somebody who just wanted their time and is quite happy to live in Bali on £1 or £2 a month. Because frankly, you can live like a king for that sort of money over there. Now, the second thing I have on here is security. And I'm thinking back to the days of COVID, I'm thinking to if you got ill, if anything happened to you, the security that investing gives you means that no matter what your personal health or what your personal circumstances are, you're always going to get paid. And you're always going to be able to provide for your family. So if you've got £1 million, and I know that's a big number again, in index funds, dividending out at 4%, there is going to be 40 grand a year coming in pretty consistently. There's not a lot that's going to change that, and it gives you that security. And the other thing to really remember about security is for a lot of people, it's the reason that they like a job. It gives them that security. It's one of humans' basic needs, is to feel that they have security. It's why we have shelter, right? So we can keep the bad things out from where we live. Now, security, as a human need, I certainly know that I take a lot of solace in the fact that I have this financial moat around me that means that I can absorb some punches. So the markets can go up and down, and it doesn't really affect me too badly. Equally, if you don't invest and you're not in the position where you've got this passive income, if you lose your job, it could be the end of your financial well-being for that period of time. You need to find another job. The security, the time freedom, all these things, they come together to give you a better sense of well-being. My third one on here is to become wealthy. And I don't think that anybody who starts to invest, if they're honest with themselves, doesn't consider the option of becoming wealthy a front of mind thing. I think most people love the idea of becoming wealthy. And what that means to you is completely unique. You know, when I was younger, I used to think you were wealthy if you had new trainers and a new hoodie and all this sort of stuff. But now those levels have just increased and played out to a higher extent. You know, I look at yachts and private jets and go, Jesus, I don't think I could ever afford those. You know, I'm at the level where with £3.5 million worth of property, I can probably go anywhere and do anything whenever I want, apart from I can't do private jets and I can't do mega yachts, right? Those are expensive. Even a 52-foot Sunseeker for a week, that's gonna be 30-40 grand for a week on that to charter. That's a lot of money. And if I'm flying from London to LA or something like that, which I'm going to shortly, that flight on a private jet, 125 grand. I'm flying business class and I think it's 1,300. So there's a huge difference, you know? So becoming wealthy, depends what it means to you, but I think most people who are looking to invest, one of their reasons to invest should be to become wealthy, because it's something that will give you that motivation when times are tough and when it doesn't make sense and when you're doing all the overtime, you're doing all the extra work to put the extra effort in. Becoming wealthy, that dream, that living in the future, I find really helps me overcome those moments. Number 4 is options. And again, I think money and investing gives you options. Instead of having to do one thing, you can do another. And you can provide your family with other options as well, right? For example, my kids could go to private school, they could go to state school. And if you have the option, you get to choose. Now, I'm not saying one's right and one's wrong. I'm just saying that having options is always useful. Same as if you want to eat in or eat out, whether you want to go out or stay in. There's so many different things that you can do, and having the option, I think, is liberating, and it gives you a good sense of well-being. Makes life more enjoyable. For example, we're going to France very shortly at the beginning of April. It's nice to have the option to get an Airbnb. We've got a house in France, but it's nice to have the option to spend 3 or 4 days in our house, a couple of nights in an Airbnb here, a couple of the nights there. Having the options makes the trip more enjoyable. The last thing I put on here is the enjoyment of life. And I just think that by investing, having all of these things, it heightens the enjoyment of life. Being able to choose what you do when you do it. Even though I work incredibly hard, I have time freedom. I'm choosing to go to LA for 3 weeks very shortly. I'm choosing to go to France for a couple of weeks with my family. Now, will I work every single day I'm there? Probably. But time freedom gives me that choice. I have the security of the money coming in, which allows me to make those decisions. I am on the road to becoming wealthy without doubt. And I have options available to me, which I enjoy. And that really does, for me, improve the enjoyment of my life. So guys, I wonder what your reasons to invest are. Let me know in the comments below. I'm massively interested. I will reply to every single one as always. And if you've not been watching this channel for long, remember, as far as I'm concerned, there's only 2 ways to invest. And that's index funds and property. Most other things I consider gambling. So guys, give the video a big like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers guys.